to run a typical experiment for approval. So it usually would take about maybe 45 minutes. So we still have time to go through questions. Or in between, if you have a questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask me questions. But for now, I will mute everyone to keep the section focus. All right. So I will go ahead to talk about SoftMax Pro. So from 7.1 version onwards, right, for molecular devices, right, we have made new changes, more changes. So one of the key critical changes is we store everything in a server-based method, which is a SQL database method. Whether you get the single version computer setup or the server setup, you have these SQL database project management. So for now, we have latest version, which is 7.4. But my understanding is you should be having the 7.3 version. Yeah, and you added additional user licenses, right? You should be able to get those updates maybe end of this week or beginning of next week, because these 2 days are holiday for US. So should be next week you will get updated to reflect the total number of user licenses, because you recently you added more user licenses, right? So that will be auto reflected as long as you connect to internet. All right. Okay. So just give you an update. If you have previous experience using SoftMax Pro older version, this software basically from the operation wise, SoftMax Pro itself quite similar. The more different is will be the interface in terms of the GxP. I will say it will be much easier to operate, as well as if your admin is very convenient for you to do more things. So with your version, new version, right, you can import all your legacy file, which means if you have an older version like version 5 or 6 or 7.1 below, you can import them. All right. System auditor is much easier to operate right now to track, as long as you have the permission to access. And this is significant changes. That is the Express SQL Express database. With this, if you set as an admin user, you are able to manage the folder, manage the user permission easily. So on top of IT can do that, right? I strongly suggest you assign at least one or two, at least 2 person as a user, as an admin. All right. Reason is, in case one person left or one person forget the password, you still have another user as an admin. Remember how to log in. All right, please take that as an important notes, because if you accidentally log yourself, nobody as an admin can log in, right? To unlock it, there will be a quite a complex things to unlock, and there will be charges. So I strongly suggest please assign at least 2 or 3 person as an admin. I will show you as an admin what you can do later on. Then this is a new thing. I will also walk through SoftMax Pro GxP, how to run this experiment, which is instead of using manual document status approval system, right? We have this document workflow and status system, which means you can track every single step from the start of creating the protocol until lab manager approve as an official protocol to the compliance area, which is the QC lab or whichever lab that run the protocol as a routine work. All this work will track in a paperless way, which means you approve or release the official protocol, everything in a track format, software format. No need to print out paper every time for some next person to sign off or whatever things. All the signature, statement, and so on, all the action approval will go through the process. I will walk through with you the GxP, how to operate this in the SoftMax Pro GxP. I will also walk through with you later on how to create the project folder. This is very convenient. You do not need to ask IT to help you to set up every single time new folder, new project every time, because if you are the admin user, you can create that easily. You can even assign, for example, like user 2 as a different role in different project. For example, user 2 is a lab manager for project 1, but scientist role in project 2. This can be created easily, all right? As well as the permission, user permission is much easier right now. You can, as long as you are the admin, GxP admin user, you can assign that easily. So do not need to call IT every time to set the folder. Previously, the options is you need to coordinate with IT to set the permission. So which sometimes take a while, all right? And of course, I'll show you the auto export function right now is much easier, and as well as come with the XML. So if you have a LIMS system that you need to integrate or SDMS system that you need to integrate, you can auto export that in XML or PDF if needed, so that you can integrate external software easily. This will not available for you because your version is single computer setup. But in the future, if you move to server setup, when you have more plate readers or you have more labs using same thing, you want to connect into one same server, you can upgrade to the server format. So that will allow you to use the Windows Active Directory, which means each of you as a user, you use same password as your Windows login. All right, so that you don't have to remember different password and having the same password criteria or expiry as same as your Windows Active Directory. All right, so that's the quick overview. I will come back to this slide very often later on to show you more for this part. Okay, I will come back here. So let me show you the GxP admin portal. So for this, you can assign a few people as an admin. For now, I will log in myself as an admin user to show you. So admin portal is for you to set up project, set up user, each user what roles and maintenance. So for you, if you would like to check how many licenses is active, right, available, right, you come to maintenance license here. For me, my version is 7.2. For it will auto reflect what version you have, 7.3 or 7.4. And I have 5 users. I use up 4. One is active. Okay. So once you connect to internet or whatever, you should see the updated version to the actual user licenses. I will say next week you should get the updates already. Yeah. And you can come to here, setting, to set your password criteria. So whether you want to auto log if someone not active for 10 minutes or 1 hour, auto log off, say example here, or set the password criteria, minimum how many character, whether you need to uppercase, digital or whatever, all right? And also if you want to set password aging, go ahead to set it here. How many days you want to set to change password? Or if someone accidentally type password wrongly, right, you will auto lock the person. Okay, so you can turn on here. This is where I mentioned if someone forget password and you turn on this, let's say you turn on 3, then you only have 1 or 2 admin user, both also forget, for example, it will be quite tedious to unlock and there will be a charger. So please set this up accordingly. Turn on the number of forced login attempt as well as who has the permission to access as the admin. All right. So one thing I want to let you know, if you set the user has admin permission, right, admin access, right, to this, right, it will not use the user licenses. So I show you just now, I have total 5 user, right, and then 4 use up. It based on SoftMax Pro access. Okay, so you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 user has the GxP SoftMax Pro access. The other, for example, like admin, it will not use up your user licenses here. Your license here will not use up. Okay, so you see I only use 4 because it's based on SoftMax Pro GxP. Okay, so it's okay for you to set up, for example, maybe IT. You can have a IT person to has a GxP admin. but you set it as no SoftMax Pro access. So for this, it will not use up. Then you will create a temporary password and you share it with the IT person. Okay. So you can check my licenses doesn't use up my user licenses. It's based on the GxP, the SoftMax Pro GxP. All right. So that is quite simple. If you log into your newly installed GxP admin as well as SoftMax Pro, you will see by default it will have a scientist role, as well as the lab technician role, and then lab manager role, which is showing here. Okay, you will have a default scientist, lab manager, and lab technician. Yeah, in this user list. Feel free to make changes. The name can be changed accordingly. For example, scientist, right? I change the name to med scientist. It's up to you. All right. You can amend or change to the role, different role name accordingly. All right. So that is something you can do that. Sorry, I show wrong place. It's role here. So by default, it has a scientist role. It has a lab manager role by default, as well as a lab technician. If you want to make changes or amend, go ahead to use this. You can also use copy roles and then make changes accordingly. Yeah, create your own roles accordingly. Just go back here again. Right, yeah. So feel free to go ahead to create. And then for user, again, beside of setting out who is the admin, who is the user, go ahead to create from here. So simply go to new user here, create a name, put the full name, whether you allow this person to have GxP admin or not, go ahead to turn on. Or you just want the person only access as an audit trail, to access this audit trail only. And then you can turn on whether you want the person have a GxP access, SoftMax Pro GxP access. Do take note, once you assign this user to have a SoftMax Pro GxP access, right, it will lock with the person for at least the 30 days. Cannot change, okay? Yeah, so you wait for at least 30 days to change it, all right? So that's something, please take note. So always good to have at the extra user, just in case there's a changes or new user, or you need to switch this user to another. So you still be able to do that, all right? Okay, let me show you project. For now, I will create a new project. So let me see, I will create this Selato. Okay, project. Then I will add user. I have a user. I want this user, med scientist user, to assign with scientist role. Okay. Then I want to add another person, lab lead, assign as a lab manager role. Okay. Then I also want to add this lab assistant, this person, as a lab technician role. So I'm going to use these three person to show you how to run an approval, how to run an experiment in a paperless way and approve it. Okay. Then I will save this project. So you can see over here, I created different project. So this is the current project I'm going to use to train you out how to use SoftMax Pro GxP. Let me see what else. So here is where audit trail, let me go back here. System audit trail is where you can access the audit trail. For example, you see, I just log in, I create the who, you see all the user, as well as you can use the filter here. Let's say you just want to look at, can I just only focus on this user? You can also do that, so that you just focus on particular user, what he or she did in the past. If anything is needed, you can always save it if needed, create a report if you need to export it. Yeah. So that's the simple GxP admin portal that I like to show you. I will pause here to see if you have any question for me. Anything is not clear about creating user or project or maintenance or roles. Feel free to unmute yourself before I move to the SoftMax Pro GxP. Okay, I assume everything is good. All right, I'm going to go to GxP, SoftMax Pro GxP software to show you how to create a project or experiment used as a scientist role. After that, approved by lab manager. Once lab manager approve of release it as a official protocol. So you see this SDAX, right? This is SoftMax Pro data file. X is GxP version. SPR, that is SoftMax Pro protocol file. Okay, so after release as a protocol file, then the user from the compliance area or GxP, for example, like lab technician, can see this protocol file and use this protocol file to run routinely and ask lab manager to approve. So let me just go in to show you about the SoftMax Pro GxP. So just double click the SoftMax Pro GxP software. It will prompt you to log in your password. So I'm going to log in um, as a user, which is the scientist role. Okay, so I'm logged in the Med Scientist, which has the scientist role permission. So next, then you can see what project I'm in. So you see some of the project I'm a lab manager role. All right. So I will log in this. Okay. So feel free to remove that if needed. So when you log in, it's normal to see some of the options is not available. It could be you do not have the permission. So if you want to check, you come here, GxP here. Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay, I hope you can see. I couldn't make it bigger now. So here you can go to the account information. So you can check you as a med scientist. You have this is permission. You can add folder. You can do set cancel and so on. Okay, you get to see what you can do. All right. So for you to create a new protocol, new experiment file, first thing you need to create a new data document. You can click over here or you come over here. Yeah. Okay. Then it will prompt to ask you to save the documents. If not, you are not able to proceed. So I will save the documents. Give a name. Okay. Save it, or you can create a folder if needed. Then just save it. So you see, this is the data file name. Okay. All right. So assuming I have set up my experiment and so on. Okay. I did experiment and so on. I set it up. Then I connect to the plate readers and run. Then I set up all the formula. Once I'm happy with that, right, let's say, I'm just thinking, I have optimized everything. So it's good to set up an official protocol and proceed to next step, ask lab manager to review. So the lab manager can review and release it as an official protocol. So I'm going to do this. So as a scientist that create this file, what I really need to do is, before I create the statements, I also need to do this. I also want to make this file consistently save or auto save or auto export. You can auto save here. I suggest you to turn on this. Go to auto save. Define where is the folder you like to save it. So I'm going to save this. All right. You will see that later. Yeah. Okay. So you can assign it with dates as well as the time. All right. So okay, I typed wrongly. Sorry for that. So you can do that. Okay. It's very convenient. Reason is, you don't have to let the other person know which folder to save it. And because you know different user type the name slightly different, right? So if you auto save, which means whenever you run the experiment, it will save according to your auto save naming. So I will save this file automatically as a Selato data with the date as well as the time. All right. You will see that later. All right. So you auto save it as well as you can turn on auto export. Okay. Auto export means auto export to external. If you have LIMS system to or SDMS system you want to integrate, you can activate this and then add a path assigned to which folder outside. Okay. Then give a name. Export in what format? Let's say you want to export in XML. Sign XML. Go ahead to turn on. And then create a folder name or whatever. Go ahead to do that. Okay, it will auto save to external folder so that you can do a backup and or integration. But for now, I will skip that. Okay. So in order to do my file in a way that approved in this way, right, you as a scientist role need to set up the workflow. Okay, I will set up this scientist, create a file, followed by lab manager, approve it, followed by lab technician to run the experiment and lab manager approve it. So I'm going to create total 4 statements. Okay. So first is protocol develop. Okay, to be signed by scientists. Then next will be protocol review, then to be reviewed by lab manager. Okay, so this is the step here, this step. Okay, after that, number 3, step number 3. Okay, data generated to be reviewed by lab technician. Okay, so this will be this step. Okay, after that will be to ask the lab manager to approve it. Okay, so number 4 statement would be data review. So that will be to be reviewed by lab manager. Okay. So total 4 statements. So for now, I'm assigned this role, right? I'm going to click this, okay? And I click here, sign off, okay? You can type any comment or whatever, sign off, okay? Then it will ask you to confirm your username and password. All right, I'm going to close it. So another thing you need to do is in order to move this to ask lab manager to approve, right? You need to change the statements in work to review pending. Okay, so which is here. In work here, you change it to review pending. Okay, please, you make some comment, yeah. Then again, confirm your username as well as the password. Okay. All right, so it auto log off. So one of the way to log in, right, is here. Click here, GxP, user log off here. So now you need to log in as a lab manager, review it and change the file to review and then release as an official protocol. Okay, so I will show you how to do it. So log in as a lab manager role. Then look for the project. So which is this one. Okay. When you log in, you go here. So you will see this file pending for review. Review pending, right? So which is you as a lab manager, you log in. Then you just cross-check the data and so on. If you're happy with this you want to make it as an official protocol, right? You can go ahead to the statements here. You can say approve or whatever comment, and then confirm your username again. Okay. So you sign off already, right? Then before you change it, I want to show you here. So you notice, right, this file as a lab manager, this release as an official protocol is not available now. But the moment I change this to review, I change this review pending to review, right? Later on, you will see this available. Okay, you see that? So you, as a lab manager role, you can make this as an official protocol file. Okay, or any time point, if the file is this version no longer active, you can change it. Yeah, you can update it. Yeah, so you save as a particular folder. Yeah, maybe this is project A protocol. Save somewhere if needed. Okay, project A, release it as a protocol. All right, so now you another person, lab technician, when you log in, right, you can see the project A protocol file. Okay, and when you run it, you don't have to save the file because it's auto save to the name and the location. Remember, the site is created. I will show you. Okay, so now first thing, you log in as the lab technician role, which is the lab assistant. The name is the lab assistant. Okay, oops, I clicked too fast. Yeah. Okay, so I will log in this folder. Okay, all right, and then you go here, this folder here. You will see protocol documents. You will see this protocol file. Okay, you just open. All right. Do you notice I didn't need to save anything? You see the file save according to what the scientist said. No need to do anything. Okay, you as a lab technician, right? You just connect to the instrument, the plate readers, run it, and then make changes or formula if needed. All right. Then if you're happy, you want to ask manager to approve, right? Once you've done your experiment here, you want to ask lab manager to approve, right? Then you sign off and then change the in progress to approval pending. Okay. So go here, statements, sign off. Okay, so one of it is signed, then next. Then you change it to approval pending. Then confirm your username, password. Okay, now auto log off. Next, last step. As a lab manager, log in, check it, and approve it. Okay, so come to here. Oh, sorry. First, I need to log off and then log in as a lab manager. So, which is the name is lab lead here. Lab manager, log in this project. Oh, something wrong. Let me log in again. Did I open all the file? Let me just close. Yeah. Let me log in again. Yeah. Okay, then I go to this folder. You see, this is the file I need to approve. Okay. All right. Then I check the result. All right. So once I'm happy as a lab manager, then I will sign this off. You can say approve or whichever comment is needed. Okay. And sign off. Okay. Then lastly, you can approve it. Okay. And the password. Before I click OK, right? I just want to show you there's another thing. Is here. You can see audit trail. This is the additional audit trail. So you get a two different audit trail. One of the audit trail is linked with the experiment file. So this particular audit trail is related to this particular file, the Selato data that I just run now, all the history. Okay. But if you want to see which user logged in, what time and so on, that you need to go to the admin portal, which I already logged off. Yeah. Okay. So now let me just go back to sign off first. Yeah. Okay. So it's auto approved. So if you go back to the folder, you see it's approved already. All right. All right. I will say that's it for the SoftMax Pro GxP training. Yeah. I will pause here to see if you have any questions for me. Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. I think your.
No, I think it's clear up until here.
Okay, sure. Great. Yeah, so it's quite straightforward, and you will have this recording I will share with every size, and you will get it. Yeah.
Okay, can I have one question?
Sure.
Yeah. So if we activate this function, so the analyst can only be measure the analysis after every step is completed, right, by lab manager.
Oh, so that is. You mean this step?
Yeah.
So before you change the in progress to approval pending, you still can make changes. But
Okay.
yeah, so but once you submit to approval pending, then it will lock. Yeah. Yeah. So just make sure before you submit or before you sign off your statements, check everything. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But one thing, let me just go back to here. Admin portal, right? Um, is feel free to make changes if needed. Yeah. Just a second. Let me log in. Okay, feel free to make changes if needed. For example, if different role, right? This is our default role. This you will have three default role. Our default is having 27 permission. What is that? That is this. Feel free to check it or uncheck it if needed. Yeah. So for example, lab manager should be able to edit the reader setting or function editor and so on. Go or edit the formula. Go ahead to turn on. Or if you think lab manager cannot do this, cannot open cancel, for example, go ahead to uncheck it. Okay. Here is just a recommendation. Okay. Usually I would suggest like this. Um, you just keep the default rule. You don't make any changes so that you can refer. You can always duplicate here. Copy row, for example, I copy this row here. Yeah. Then you change the name. Maybe for your company, it's not called lab manager, project manager, whatever. Change the name. Okay. Then you can turn on, turn off. Yeah. Maybe this person shouldn't mask or unmask the well. Okay. This person cannot create or save protocol. Go ahead to turn on and turn off. Okay. Or this person allowed to delete or not allowed to delete, uncheck it. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead to do all this. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Looks like all good there. Is this okay for me to stop recording and stop the training section? Is it okay? I'm going to stop. Yeah.